So first up is Miss Dr. Jekyll, who is described as middle-aged, distinguished looking, and large. So I'm thinking of a well-dressed large woman and all that. And I looked up a large person for a good idea and found someone who kinda looks like Wilson Fisk from Daredevil. So I kinda want to give them like some muscles and all that for just that reason alone. I'm not sure yet, but this voiceover, so the one drawing obviously knows so what we're drawing and all that, so it might look like it has muscles, so it might look like it doesn't. Who knows? I just want to go with like a whole friendly giant kind of vibe and all that, and I want to give some gray hair streaks as well because she is old, and a little smile because I just think that's cute. And I also want to give her some glasses for her too, because I always imagined while reading the book, that Jekyll always wore glasses and Hyde always didn't and all that. Because, I don't know, why not? Next is Miss Edith Hyde, who was described as a younger, more energetic person with a deformity that no one could agree on. I don't really like the idea of the deformity because that means I have to like make one up and all that. And it says that everyone can also agree on her looking evil. So I might try and make her look a bit evil with like a squint, some dark eyes, but I also realize that's what I look like whenever I wake up, so I probably should add on to that. I also imagine her wearing some sort of trench coat if I can. I want to give her like a newsboy hat because I just think they look really cool and all that. And all hats are a bit hard to draw, so I might want to try something else or have it in its own image, so if it is like awful and all that, I can just ignore it or whatever. Who cares? I don't know. Um, Maybe I can also give her like a splash of blood because in the book she does kill someone, and if for some reason like every adaptation she's seen as like a mass murderer when she killed one person and then she realized, oh no, I'm a criminal now, I need to hide. Anyways, that's all I can really say. Moving on. Dr. Victor Frankenstein is next, and her new name will be Dr. Victoria Frankenstein. I tried looking up an appearance for her, but I only got an appearance of the monster instead. So I'm just gonna go off of the book cover that does show her on the front, but has her back turned, so it might be a bit hard. She has somewhat short ginger hair that also kinda seems to be curly or messy or something like that. She's also wearing a suit and she has a cane and all that. I think she isolated herself in her home in the book, so I'd like to give her somewhat pale skin. I know that she has more yellowish skin on the book cover, but I looked that up and it pretty much is connected to an illness that it would make no sense for her to contract by all the like causes for the illness. So I think like yellow skin's just like a like so she doesn't like blend in with the waves on the book cover or something like that. And besides, it doesn't make sense as well because her monster is described to have yellow skin. So why is she scared by that in the book? You are scared by your own skin color in that case, if that is true. So anyways, we're moving on. So, moving on to Frankenstein's monster, apparently in a movie or another book, not the original book, the monster calls himself Adam because of Adam being the first man to exist. So, that is like according to the Bible and all that. So let's just search up the female version of Adam, and that's apparently Adaline, which is my name. So we're gonna name her Eve. In the book, it also says that she looks fairly beautiful, but with a repulsive yellow skin. See where I was going earlier? Um, it also she has like lustrous, flowing black hair and watery eyes, which were close to the same color as the whites of her eyes. And this apparently like makes her look off or something. At least to Frankenstein. So yeah. Anyways, moving on. She didn't really wear clothes. She did, actually dress herself. I learned this after scripting it and all that. But, I want to draw 3 scenes. I don't know what the third one's gonna be, but I know what the 2 first ones are. I want to draw her, like towering over Frankenstein's bed, like the night that she was created, because that does happen in the book. And in that scene, she probably isn't wearing clothes because, she was just created and didn't know anything, so, yeah. And I also want to show the scene where after she murders that one kid, I don't remember the name of that kid. People who haven't read the story probably think I'm crazy right about now. But she murders someone and then is, like, in a thunderstorm, and, like, Frankenstein is, like, sees her in the thunderstorm by like a lightning strike illuminating her silhouette or something. So I kinda want to draw that because that just sounds really cool. Third one, I don't know. But anyways, we're moving on. So let's start with the one I think that most people know, that being Lucy. Now for her description, it leaves a lot for imagination, I guess. It says she looks beautiful and is described as angelic. She's also said to be innocent and airheaded, Google's words, not mine. But better than how the movies make her out to be though, so yeah. I'm going to base her off of a movie that she's in, the Francis Coppola Dracula movie, pretty much. Which, by the way, if you are planning on watching that movie, please do be careful. It has some nudity, if I'm right in it. I don't know, I was drawing while watching it, and I looked over, saw a naked person on screen, and just, like, turned back to my tablet and kind of ignored it. But anyways, I'm going to, off of how Lucy looks in that, with, like, cherry blonde curly hair. And I might draw them both as a human and a vampire, because she does turn during the book. And movies, of course. By the way, if you want to watch a good vampire movie that does not have any nudity or stuff in it, watch John Badman's, Badham's Dracula. The Francis Coppola versions is good. I do think it's very faithful to the books as possible as it can. And it does have Keanu Reeves in it. But I really like the John Badham version because, it does change the setting somewhat. It changes it to like where Dracula crashes in his ship or whatever. Well, crashes a ship that he did not own. And Lucy and Mina's roles are switched, where Lucy is a caring nurse or something like that, and Mina is the person like turning into a vampire and all that. And it also says like Van Helsing's daughter and all that, which I think is a cool change than just like some guy thinking, oh, Lucy's sick, let's just call this guy I know, he's called Van Helsing, he's the doctor, don't worry about it. Which, yeah, I don't really like that. I really like the idea of the father of Mina just coming around, or I guess Lucy, however one it's gonna be. Anyways, enough about that, and let's move on. Next up is Lena, who is a very nice character, and from what I know of the book, she almost dies, and it's almost everyone's fault except for Van Helsing's, I think. But, now for appearance, I can't find much for that, and, she is described, though, as a very intelligent and independent woman, which makes me wonder that since this is the time of stereotypes, otherwise known as the late 1800s, I looked up as if she wore glasses, and so far the results were very accurate. But then I found a picture of her wearing glasses, so I just guess I'll just add it in at this point, because why not? But, I also am going with the movie design I mentioned earlier, because they gave her like a hat, they gave her like a bun, I think it's called, probably. And she's also wearing a nice dress, which I think is nice. And also in the book, I do want to talk about this because I really like it. In the book, she has the ability to look through Dracula's eyes after, like, Dracula tries, like, feeding her some of his blood so he can spy on, like, Van Helsing and everyone else and all that. But then they just, like, use it against Dracula and, like, figure out where he is. Which I think is cool, so I might, like, put that in its own drawing or something. For having, like, weird eyes and all that. Who cares? I don't know. Moving on. Abraham Van Helsing, or how we will be calling them now, is Avra Van Helsing. She was thankfully one of the characters that was described a lot in the books, probably why she is usually the same in everything she is in. She is described to have medium height. What is medium height? Is that average height? So the average height of a female is 5'4", so wait, how tall are my characters again? So B is average height, Melissa is 5'5", and Jesse is 6 feet. I've not been drawing that right. I should make new reference sheet. Anyways, moving on. Van Helsing is also described as having shoulders set back over broad. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna guess broad shoulders. And when I looked up the images, I got like sloped shoulders that look kind of sloped. I don't know if that does mean broad shoulders, but I'm gonna go with it. It'll definitely not fit in, so eh. It also describes her as having a deep chest, so, and I looked up pictures of that, and it gave me pictures of buff people and a disease. So I'm gonna guess it's a buff person or something. Anyways, that seems great and all, so let's move on. Now, if you did not know, Dracula's real name is Vlad Dracula III, the name being based off the real historical figure Vlad the Impaler, who does share the same name. They also have the same reputation as the original Dracula by scaring townsfolk and armies by impaling his victims and leaving their bodies as warnings. The warnings being to leave the country because if you were around him, you were a target no matter who you are. Now, the female version of Vladimir, I could not find one for Vlad, is Vladka. I think I said that right. Now, it says Dracula is tall, old, and wearing all black without a single spot of color